Hey there guys, this is Francesca from consciousfultarot. Thank you so much for tuning into my YouTube channel and clicking on this video. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe and like the video. Today's video is going to be about the new moon in Gemini. So this new moon is not just a typical new moon. It is a new moon that's also in the North Node with Uranus and during Mercury retrograde. So this new moon is very significant because the highlight is for us to really cut the dead weight, to use our intellect, to cut out old belief systems that no longer serve us and really begin to hone a new mindset and a new way of thinking that is going to give us great clarity about what we want to achieve and what really is meant for us in this lifetime. So the new moon in Gemini is really going to help us support the momentum that we're carrying right now. Right now, there's also a lot of other planetary transits that are helping us begin a new journey towards awakening. Right now, we are going through an ascension period because we are still in eclipse season. As the last blood moon passed, it was also a lunar eclipse, which is going to affect us for the next 2 to 3 years. And as I mentioned in the previous video, we are now entering the Great Awakening. We are now really ascending and initiating into the 5D reality and the 5D earth. And this is really the second part of human awakening. The first part was in the Jupiter conjunction in 2020, December 2020. And now this is the second part of awakening. This is kind of like a judgment call. This moon is actually helping the collective create a clean slate. So if you're feeling like you no longer resonate with your old dynamic, with your old friends, with your old relationships, with your old habits, it's really because you're now ascending to a new level of consciousness, a new level of self-awareness, a new level of self-discovery. You're gonna be aligning with new habits, with a new lifestyle, and with new interests that are really gonna help you align yourself with really what you're intended to do here on earth. This new moon, you should expect to also reap the rewards that you've been working for. You're also going to be clearing out your mind, so clearing out any old perceptions, so confusion, scarcity mindset, any sort of limitations, especially revolving around insecurities. You're also going to be able to communicate more your truth rather than hindering your voice. You're also going to get clarity from the external world. So anything that you were potentially confused about, whether it's your job, your relationships with other people, what's going on with the world, you're going to get clarity and you're going to really begin to understand what's happening on an intellectual level. Your mind is going to be more flexible, less rigged, more open, less fixated. You're also going to feel more sociable, more talkative, wanting to be versatile, wanting to live. You're going to be curious what the other person thinks. You're not going to be divided anymore. You're not going to have that divide and conquer mindset anymore. You're not going to be in a state of division or fear. You're really going to be curious to question your beliefs, your conditioning, and a certain way of thinking that you've possibly been thinking for the last few years or months. This new moon is also going to give you an opportunity to promote your future and also reconnect with new people and old people, but when it comes to reconnecting with the old people, you're going to be creating new dialogue with them. So it's not going to be the same old communication I used to have with them. You're going to really begin to renew the dialogue by having a different state of mind and mindset. You're also going to be aligning yourself with new alliances that are going to help you in your career and help you really become creative and really begin to hone your skills in every area in your life. This new moon is also going to help you be more intentful with others. So if in the past you had connections that were based off conditioning, they were based off gossip, they were based off connections that were just comfortable, or connections that you felt you needed to hold on to because you were just conditioned to be around those people because you known them for a while, or because they were connections that just helped you some way in a social ladder, etc., whatever resonates. But you're going to begin to potentially disconnect from people that you didn't really have a strong intention with. You're going to begin to realize that in order for you to connect with people, there has to be an intention, there has to be a heart resonance, there has to be a connection more than just a physical, there has to be a connection more than just a social connection, there has to be a deeper bond rather than just drinking and going out and being around people just for social status or for social conformity. You're going to realize that you want to align with people that actually have things in common with you, that are alike. So if you have people in your life that you really don't resonate with anymore, that you're clashing with, that you're having power struggles with, that your minds aren't connecting, they're actually interfering, you're going to have the ease and the ability to release those connections. So those old friendships, those old ties, potentially old relationships or exes, you're gonna release them because you're no longer gonna resonate with them, and you're gonna create a strong intention with new connections. And this new moon is also going to be really highlighting the fact that you need to get rid of old beliefs. So old beliefs revolving around your potential, around what you're capable to produce, and what you're capable of also achieving on an intellectual level. So if you were limiting yourself out of fear, or just because you wanted to conform, like I said, you're gonna begin to adapt to new ways of researching, new ways of finding answers. You're going to be connecting with people that are going to think much like you, potentially connecting with teachers, with journalists that are going to help you see the other side of what you once believed in. So whether it's about the pandemic, about what's happening on a social level, what's happening on an economic level, etc. You're also going to have this feeling of wanting to move towards a more healthy lifestyle, release an old lifestyle, release an old identity behind. So if in the past you identified with, let's just say, materialism, you're going to connect more with intellect, and you're going to connect more with the mind and the heart rather than what you see on the outside. I'm also seeing a lot of people releasing or being less captivated by any sort of mental illness, whether it's anxiety disorder, OCD, and specifically depression. People are really going to come out of any sort of mental hindering or any sort of mental confinement. Mental illness can be cured, I believe, through self-belief, but also through, a natural approach. That is very controversial, but know that your beliefs do dictate your reality. So if you begin to feel less ill at this time, it's really because of the cosmic influence, and because you're getting that opportunity to really heal yourself on a mental level. You're also going to want to be influenced to really begin to support other people, because you're going to realize that it's going to be a reciprocal transaction. So you're going to support others, they're going to support you. You're going to want to learn new things and unlearn the old ways. You're going to also begin to integrate your shadow self with your higher self, and really begin to master yourself in the process. If you feel a little bit anxious during this time, what your soul is actually asking for you to do is actually feel your emotions rather than avoiding them during this time, especially during Mercury retrograde. The collective, and you're really being called to go within yourself, and excuse me, that was my dog. Go within yourself and hone your emotions, master your emotions, ground yourself with your breath, going into nature. If you feel like your mind's a little bit scattered or you don't know how to set your intentions, write them down. Be very intentional when you begin your day. Don't just go off your automatic programs. You also don't want to overemphasize logic, and because that can distract yourself from your intuition. You want to really begin to balance out your heart and your mind during this time. Acknowledge your feelings so you can feel, because this is actually going to open the gateway to your inner knowing, so you can really understand what you truly want and align yourself with what you truly want in this lifetime. Introspection, self-reflection is going to be a major thing as well. So ask yourself critical questions, especially with everything that I mentioned, like when it comes to old beliefs, old relationships, old ways of being. Ask yourself, does this serve me? Is this making me happy? Do I resonate with this person? Do they make me happy? Are they aligning with my mission? Are they aligning me with my truth? And yeah, you're gonna have to ask yourself introspective questions that are gonna help you ascend and really get to this next level of intellect and self-understanding. You also want to release any tension through movement, exercise, and I definitely recommend wearing the color yellow during the new moon, or just being around yellow flowers. Also, potentially consume like squash, pineapple, any like yellow foods. If you're good at sales, or if you're like a teacher, if you're like a motivational speaker, or if you want to be any of those things, begin to work in that as well. Practice that. The crystal that I recommend during this new moon is also the agate crystal, and any crystal that's ruled by Mercury. And I also recommend sodalite crystal as well, and consume also the herb dill, as that's going to help you as well. Pay attention to any sort of effects that you're having in your arms. So if you feel weakness in the arms, focus on that. Seek medical attention, or go to a holistic practitioner. If you're also feeling any sort of effects in the lungs, particularly in your breath, practice breath work multiple times during the day, as that will be highlighted during this new moon. And overall, my friends, it's just going to be super important for you to just be very concrete about the changes you need to make, and where you need to be honest with yourself, where you need to be honest with others, how you need to communicate and assimilate to yourself and your relationships, as to how you can really begin to either progress in your connections, or just release them once and for all, so you can make space for new ones, or to foster old connections that are meant for you. Reason and logic are going to be very important, so use your intellectual skills during this time. And then I want to end it off with one more thing. So in the previous full moon reading, I mentioned that a lot of people were going to be getting clarity about the past. So what I meant was that people are going to be getting clarity about what happened in 2020, as to why the pandemic rolled out, as to why the COVID rolled out. I am very discreet because I don't want my YouTube to get flagged, so please bear with me. So what came to my attention is that now the monkey POX is coming out. So a lot of people are calling this a hoax, because they realize that now the COVID has no power over us. So the people in power are using the monkey POX to scare us, to keep us in fear, to control us. So that came to light, and it's just making a lot of sense. People are talking about it, and I hope you also use your reason and your logic and your intellect to break through psychological operations, and just to break through any barriers of confusion and fear, so you can really attain a sense of clarity. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. Stay tuned for new moon zodiac readings coming soon. And if you want a personal reading, you can book your reading at consciousfultarot.com. I specialize in love and relationships, career and finances, spiritual and life path, and honestly, any question you have, I can guide you and give you the answers. You can catch me mainly on Instagram and a little bit on Facebook, and now I'm on TikTok. Take care, guys. Sending you love and light. Bye.